Hello, this is Matt, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to play the Pink Floyd classic Wish You Were Here. The lesson structure is the same as always. I'll play the song and then I'll move on into showing you exactly what I'm doing so you can play it for yourself. And I'll also show you as well as the rhythm part, I'll show you that acoustic lead bit at the beginning of the song. Alright, so without further ado, here we go. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? To get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage? I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here. Okay, so Wish You Were Here, the intro is played on a 12-string guitar, which I've got here. But don't worry, you certainly don't have to have a 12-string guitar to play the song by any means. And for those of you who are not familiar with a 12-string guitar, it's the same as a 6-string, apart from the fact that there's 12 strings. But what I mean is it's the same in the sense that you've got 6 pairs of strings. So, you know, you've got a string accompanied by a thinner string there. So this finger here, I'm holding down what on a 6-string guitar would just be 1 string, but on the 12-string I'm actually holding down 2 strings with one finger because they're close together. So you've got 6 pairs of strings, and one is 1 octave higher than the other. So you've got this sort of sound. You've got the lower octave, the E, and then the thinner string is an octave higher. And it's the same on the A string, the D string, the G string, and then the last 2 are tuned the same. And you just get a fuller, richer sound with a 12-string. It's good for strumming songs where most of the chords are in this area of the fretboard. It's not really something you want to start getting into bar work, and you certainly wouldn't use it to play like an intricate solo on. It's more of a strumming kind of guitar. Yeah, so, you know, you can use this lesson if you've only got a 6-string, that's fine, and just play in the same way I'm playing, because as I say, it's like the same. You've got 6 strings on this 12. You can imagine that there's just 6 strings. It's just 6 pairs of strings. And first of all, let's get the tuning. So here's my E. My A. If you do have a 12-string, then it's going to take you a little while longer to get it in tune, because they're a bit of a pain to tune, 12 strings. You've got to get all the strings bang on. And my D, G. This is just standard concert pitch, standard tuning. The B, and finally the E string there. Okay. Okay, so pause the lesson, get the guitar in tune, rewind that bit, get your guitar in tune. Okay, so hopefully your guitar is in tune now. If you want to fret a G chord, like I'm doing there, it's a fuller G chord, it's not a G chord like that, it's actually a fuller one like that. So you've got the little finger on the 3rd fret, E strings. I say strings because you're holding down a pair of strings. The 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the B string, the 2nd finger on the 3rd fret on the E string, and the 1st finger behind it there. So you got that chord there. And before we get into anything else, just try and become comfortable with this strumming pattern. It's like a... Try and play along. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Oh, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, you might want to pause the lesson and just have a go at practicing that on your own pace. So it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. You're just on that down, so you're just hitting a couple of strings there. Just to get into the rhythm of the song, the feel. Alright, and once you've mastered that strumming pattern, depending on how advanced you are, the picking, well, first of all, you've got that rhythm, and then you've got so you play, you're holding down the G chord, as you can see there, With the right hand you play the E string, like that, a downstroke, then another downstroke. You take the first finger away, so you play and then play the A string. Alright? And then you do what's called a hammer on, and you just hammer on that note there, like so. So you play this string, a downstroke, the two strings, or the one string if you're using a 6-string guitar, and then hammer on. Okay, so you put all that together, you got just practice that in a loop, repeat that in a loop. Play along. 2, 3, 2, 3. Alright, and then after that, you just play the open D string, all downstrokes with the right hand, and then you place your finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, as you can see I'm doing there, and you play that note, then you play those strings. There'll just be one string on. In the future I'll just say that pair of strings, and if I say that pair of strings, if you're playing on a 6-string steel acoustic, then I just mean that string. Right? So yeah, you've got so to put all this, what I've shown you together so far, you've got. Alright, we'll just practice that around in a loop. Play along if you can. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Okay, so you might want to pause the lesson and just practice that at your own pace. Okay, so we've got, and then you've got a stroke. You're just stroking then, strumming. Sorry. So you got down, 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 and then you're strumming the sort of the D, G, B, E strings, or the G, B, that sort of area. You're not hitting the whole, all the strings. You're just hitting this area, and you're going down, 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 down. So it's down, 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 down. So it's down, 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 up, up, down. Down, down, up, up, down. Down, down, up, up, down. Down, down, up, down. So just pause and practice that. Down, down, up, down. Alright, so when you put all that together, you've got. One more time. So on the last downstroke, you're just hitting the D string, really. And then after that downstroke, you just play the G string on a downstroke, or the pair of G strings. So you go. And then you just play the D string again whilst it's fretted, and then take the first finger away and play the pair of D strings open, and then you go fret the G chord again, and you go up, down, up, down. So let me just run through it. Up, down, down. So it's up, down, down. So you go down, 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 down. Up, up, down, 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 down. up, down, down, up, down. So it's up, down, down, up, down. I'll run through that again. So you got down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. Okay? And then on that up, down, you play the bass note, which is the G. So you got down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, and that note is the beginning of the cycle again. And you just repeat it again, the same thing. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is repeat what we've learnt so far in a cycle, and just try and play along. And if you can't play along, then pause the lesson and then practice in your own time, at your own pace, playing along. All right. So I'll just go around in a loop, and you can just try and come in whenever you feel comfortable. I'll play it for a good while. Yeah. So here we go. Okay, and what you need to learn then is another bit. I'll just take you into that. It starts off the same, and instead of going, it goes. You play the D string with the second fret fretted, as you can see. I'm fretting it there, and you go on a downstroke on the right hand, as you can see. Then you take the finger away, play the same note, the same pair of strings, and then you place the first finger on the second fret on the A string and play those with a downstroke on the right hand. Then take that finger away again. So you're doing the same thing, just on the A string. So just to put all that together, you got. And then after you play that note, you go to that shape there, which is the first finger on the G string, or the pair of G strings on the second fret, the second finger on the second fret on the pair of B strings, and then the other two fingers where they were, on the third fret, the third finger holding down the pair of B strings, and the little finger holding down the pair of thinnest E strings. It's probably easier just to look and copy rather than have it all explained like that. So you've got down, up, and it's the same, but instead of going, you go and then into that chord shape. So to put all that together, I'll slow it down a little bit. You've got it goes down, 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 down. So it goes down, 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 down. So it goes down, 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 down. So it's down, down, up, down, down. And then it goes back into that, it does that hammer on again on the A string. So you play the A string with your, don't worry too much about getting the strumming right, just master the left hand, and then the strumming will fall into place in its own good time. So you play the pair of A strings, hammer on, play the D strings, and then play them with the second fret, fretted by the first finger. And then so down, down, up, down, and then it repeats again. Down, so down, so it's down, 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 up, down, and then you go back to D. So you go. So you play the A string, hammer on with the first finger, and then back into the G shape. Okay, don't worry too much at this point if you feel a bit confused by what I'm doing. It takes a while for the brain to digest the information, and you know, just try and play along, copy what I'm doing, and then pause the lesson and have a go at it, you know, at your own pace, so you don't have to keep up with any speed or anything at any pace. And maybe focus on the left hand first of all and just get that right, get the fingering correct, and then focus on the right hand to get the strumming correct. Okay, so far we've had, I'll slow it down, we've got go down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. That's one whole cycle, and then that's repeated. Okay, so far we've covered this much from here. Oh, well, it actually starts off with just from here, doesn't it? Yeah, so. Yeah, so actually I showed you from the beginning the first note is there on the G string, but it isn't actually. It starts off with the open A string, so you, instead of going, you just go, so you just miss off that first note with downstrokes on the right hand. So yeah, to go over what we've already been over again. God, I'm sure there's a simpler way of saying that, but you know what I mean. We've come this far now. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, repeat. You repeat it with that first note played on the G string. And just repeat the same thing. And this is what the lead acoustic goes over. So it's but you're playing exactly the same thing that I've already shown you. And then you go to C. Okay, and it's that full version of C there. You see the chord diagram. So you go, it goes. This is the second time round. Into G. Down, up, down, 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 up. Sorry, it goes to down, up, and change. So it's down, down, up, and down, down, up, and change. So, and the strumming you need is just like a down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. Like I showed you at the beginning of the lesson. Down, and then the next chord, you can tell. You play D. But you also add, you bring the thumb in over the second fret on the E string there to get that nice full D sound. So it goes so. As I say, don't worry about the strumming too much. Just get the left hand sorted. Make sure you can change from the chords from one chord to another. And then come back over it and then work on the strumming and then, bring the two together. Well, they'll just come together automatically over time. Alright, so you've got so you think you can D. Change to D. So you've got this kind of thing going on with the strumming. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. The same thing as runs throughout the whole song. And then from there into A minor. So down, 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 and then back into G. Can you tell a green? And then back to D. Field. The cold steel C. Smile from a minor. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to train? So now at this point we've covered all the chords that you have in the singing part of the song. We've covered everything. We've covered everything that's you need to know to play the whole song now. It's just a question of stringing those segments, that segment, and then put that together with the stringing segment, the singing segments. All right, so I'll slow it down, and I'll give you the next chord in advance. I'll hum the tune, and I want you to try and change the chords. I'll give you the chord in advance, all right, and then you just want to change on the beat. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, starting from C, 4, and so D, then A minor, heaven from hell, back to G, then to D, and it's a green field, then to C. Then back to A minor, smile from a veil. Then back to G, think you can tell. And then back to C, did a trade. And with that trade, you can take that second finger off there, so you go down, up, down, down. So repeat that. Down, down, up, down, down. You hear a rose for ghosts. Down, up. up, down, R dash, A minor, down, up, down, 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 up, back to G, down, up, down, down, chord, comfort for D, down, up, down, down, did you, back to C, strange, walk on A minor, when it goes from there, a walk on part in the wall, so you go from there to that position, alright, the chord diagram's there, and then into A minor, strange, a walk on part in the wall, so it's a walk on part in the wall, a walk on part in the wall, a lead roll, and then back to G, and then it goes back into the, oops, into the, which we've already had. Play along. It goes back into the singing. I wish. Then to D. Wish you were here. Then to A minor. We're just two lost souls swimming in a. Back to G. Year after year. Then it goes back to D. Running over the sand. Back to C. Happy flying. Back A minor again. Yes. And then back to G. Wish you were here. Then it goes back into that again. And it's got that high pitched singing. I can't do it as. Okay, and we're just coming to the end. And for the ending, do the ending that they do when they play it live, just goes an E minor shape there. Because obviously the studio version just fades out, but when they play it live, when they played it live, unless they're going to, Pink Floyd are going to do a reunion again, or unless David Gilmour performs it again, I don't know if he still does it. They end that way. Okay, so there we are. I think that's all you need now to move ahead. You might have to rewind, go through the lesson a few times, observe the right hand, observe the left hand, maybe just a few times focus on the right hand. Well, I'd get the left hand down first of all, and then go back over it and watch it and observe exactly what the strumming is. I've tried to explain it as best as I can. All right, so that's that for the. That's for the rhythm part. Now I'll show you how to play that nice little acoustic lead bit at the beginning. Alright, so with the lead part, you've got the 12 string going. And I'm just illustrating, this illustrates that, you know, you can equally play this song on a normal 12 string, 6 string acoustic. So when it goes dun 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 dun, so there you've got a downstroke on the G string, second finger on the second fret. Right, as you can see, slide it up. So you got, and then an upstroke on the third fret on the B string. So you got. and then another upstroke on the 5th fret on that B string, a downstroke on the 4th fret on the G string, and then an upstroke, sorry, an upstroke on the 3rd fret on the B string. So you got, alright? Alright, so pause the lesson until you can remember how to do that. Then after that, you play a downstroke on the G string whilst fretting the 4th fret with your 3rd finger, as you can see. And then you do what's called a pull off. You play the note with this 1st finger on the 2nd fret, and you just pull it off like that. And then you pull that 1st finger off as well. So when you put that together, you got. So you pluck it once with a plectrum, a downstroke, as you can see, and then pull it off twice. So. Okay. And then you just play a downstroke on the open D string. And then after that, you just got a downstroke, and you just start off with the 2nd finger on the 1st fret on the A string, and you play it, and you immediately slide it up like this. So you're not going. You sort of play it, and it's almost as if you're almost doing this, but it's just that. It's just a little slide up, and then 2 downstrokes on the D string. So just to recap, you got. And then you got the rhythmic guitar behind that going. And then you got the 3rd finger on the thinnest E string and the B string, as you can see, on the 3rd fret. And you pluck it and you immediately slide it up. So you got like that. It's a downstroke. So it's. Yeah, so that's how I play it. So you pluck it, slide it up immediately, and then you pluck it, slide it up. So it's a slide it back down. Well, palm mute then. So you go. So you pluck it, slide it up, palm mute it, cut that note, move the finger down. I'm obviously, this is all in very slow motion, and then play those 2 strings like that. So when you put all that together, you got. So you're not going. You've got that palm mute in there. Stop. But it's all very quick, is it? So you might want to pause the lesson and practice. Get the hang of doing that. Don't get frustrated if it doesn't come to you immediately. You might have to sleep on it. Alright, so you got, and then you got something similar. The starting position is like that, with the 1st finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the B string. Alright, so it's that, and you're playing those 2 strings, the G and the B string, and you pluck that. So you pluck it and slide it, and palm mute again as you did before, but this time you do the same thing backwards. So you pluck it like that and slide it down. So you go palm mute, so you go, and then you go. It's almost like one note. It's so quick. It's not like. It's very quick. Alright. So you got. And then you just play. Take that 1st finger away and play the G and B strings. So you got. And you do the same again. You play that and slide it up again, and do the same thing again. So you got. gets funny when you play it out of context. So you go dun, dun. So that time you play the G and the B strings. So just to recap that, you've got dun, dun. Oh, sorry, that wasn't really smooth. I'll run through that again. So it's so you got it like that. Take that finger away and then okay, and then you got another. And then you got. So you got you play the G string with the second finger on the second fret. Slide it up, an upstroke with the first finger, as you can see on the third fret, on the B string. So you got then a downstroke on that note again on the G string on the fourth fret. So you got and then you got that. You got a bit of vibrato there. Notice with the vibrato you move your finger up and down. It's kind of like coming from the wrist. It's something again that you just have to practice, and it's like riding a bike. It'll just click eventually. Sometimes people do vibrato like that, like on a, but that's tends to be more on a nylon string classical. So you got, then you got a tough bend there. You bend up to this note. So you got. Now with string bending, it's really important that you get it accurate. It's no good bending it too high or too low. You've got to get that string bending accurate. And that, it's a mixture of listening to the pitch and sort of becoming familiar with the tension of the strings. So you develop an instinct of knowing how hard to bend the string. And anyway, so you bend up to that note. You don't actually play. First of all, you bend up to that note, and then you play it while it's bent up. And you pull it down, and then pull off. So you got, and then you play that note there, with a downstroke, and then that note again. So you got. Like that, so it's not quite as staccato as it's and then you've got this note here on the G string, second fret, and on the original record, I think David Gilmour plays that bit, doesn't he? And yeah, of course he does. My God, how could I get something like that wrong? And yeah, so. He bends up then from the fourth fret to that note. So again, a full bend. But I suspect that on his guitar, the G string wasn't wound. It was an unwound G string. It depends on the gauge of your strings, and on my acoustic guitar, the G string happens to be wound. So it's really tough. You've got to have a lot of strength to bend up to there. So alternatively, and I've noticed when David Gilmour's played Wish You Were Here live, he hasn't always gone for that string bend. What you can do alternately is just, which is what I did in the beginning of the video, is just slide up like that. It's a lot easier on the finger. So if you've got a string that isn't wound, you can go. It's a struggle. I really have to push hard to get that note. So you can do that, or you can just go, which is a slide on the B string there, and then so you go. Then you got the same thing again. That's repeated, and then you got that bend again. This time you bend it up from the fifth fret. So sorry. So you got. And then again you've got. If you can do that, that's all well and good. But you might just want to stick a lighter gauge set of strings on your acoustic to play it. Or you can just go. And then just goes into. So into the song then. So there are there's more than just the 12 string. You've also got an acoustic strumming along in the song. I didn't want to overcomplicate it, so I just had my 12 string playing and I didn't do an overlay of the acoustic apart from the lead part. Alright, so let's go through that lead part again. You've got the first bit, and then we'll practice. I'll give you an exercise to practice it then, yeah? So we've got this. Well, you don't actually play that, but I'm just giving you the rhythm behind it. It's sort of, and then you've got. So. So. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so in the next part I'll give you, well, go over that. You might have to pause and rewind. Just don't worry about getting the timing right. Just suss out where your fingers go and digest all that. And then in the next bit I'll give you a little exercise to practice that lead part. And then you can play the song then. Okay, so just to round off the lesson, I'll just give you a bit of a practice run with that solo lead part. I'll slow it right down for you. It's really helpful, I found, with that program Guitar Pro. When you're working out a solo, you can slow it down to like a quarter of the speed and it stays at the same pitch and you can follow the tablature, and it's really good. So I'm going to do something like that and just slow it down. So the beat would be like a... Okay, just try and play along. So I'll go like this. Okay, that sort of speed. Alright, so here we go. Try and play along. Okay, so there, just remember that I was actually adding in stuff that the lead solo doesn't play, just to give you a sense of the song going on behind that. You don't have to worry about playing that, just concentrate on the lead part. Okay, so I hope that lesson has been a good one, and you can now play the song, or hopefully with a bit of practice you'll soon be able to play the song, and I'll speak to you again hopefully with more lessons in the future. Thank you.